Hey, what's going on? Welcome to another episode of the Way I See It. My name is Chris. It's after 4, and you know how we talk about these things during the day. So what I want to do is I want to just basically talk about that. The podcast is out right now. You can see that Yamanoti Tech and Society on either Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. The other thing I want to go ahead and talk about is that, the interview we were talking about with Angie the Diva. If you don't really know who she is, that's her brand name. Her name is Angie Floyd. She actually, as a teacher in the States, but decided to make a change and moved her and her family, her 2 kids, to Asia, where she landed in Saigon, where she was teaching. But now she works full-time as an entertainer and comedian for the people that's living in Saigon right now, for the Vietnamese, native Vietnamese people and the expats. And we have a conversation of about maybe 2 hours talking about entrepreneurship. We talk about living in Saigon, what made her lead there, here, there. We also talk about the coronavirus and how that's affecting her right now and the people around there. So you can go ahead and you can check that out. Without being, too, just moving on to the next segment, I think that what I wanted to talk about was, what's going on right now. I mean, everybody seems to be a little bit in a panicky, mindset about what they want to do. And I feel that what's going on, based off of the books that I talked about, Homo sapiens, Sapiens, Homo Deus, the world is flat. We also have another book called the Shallows, which talk about how our minds are being reprogrammed, what we're looking for in our next future, for different things we're doing. And what I'm getting at is we're gonna have to focus more on working from within, meaning that we have to figure out what we want, and we have to kind of find a way to express that. The idea of money is dissolving. We live in a world now where people die from, eating too much sugar, or eating too much than eating too little. People don't die from famine anymore. People die from too much McDonald's or diabetes or smoking. So the overconsumption of things is what's leading people to their deaths. And we also find out that most of us don't make more than $50,000 a year going across the United States. So why is there so much problem? Why people can't afford to do things? Why people can't afford to work on anything? I think one of the reasons why is because we focus more on ourselves, but the idea of how we appear to someone else rather than how we appear to ourselves. And when I say this is that if you are a college graduate, you just graduated from school, you want to get a job, based on where you work, you might feel like you have more prestige than working someplace else. Let's say if you work for Apple or something, you work for Google, you have the prestige that you work for this really good company, very popular. It has a lot of popularity. People can get you probably make really good money. You have really good health insurance. You have a lot of cushion, but then the people around you will probably start to compete. You might have somebody who might make a little bit more than you, or make a little bit less than you. You might get liked by someone that is someone else's manager. You might be too new, you might be too old, and these problems tend to influence how we talk to more to how we talk to ourselves, what we think we need, and the way I see it today is if we go ahead and we pay attention to what we truly want. It means you got to write it down. You got to take some time and figure out what you actually want, and then go after that. It's easier to deal with the problems that's coming along your way. So, for example, like if you're looking to go ahead and be successful at wherever you're at right now, define success first, then work backwards. You know, because right now we might be in a situation where work is going to be more on what we actually do individually than what based and more or less on what someone else has done for us. So if you come from a really really big school, you know, you won't just be able to get a job simply because you went to a really good school. If you went ahead and you did something really cool 10 years ago, that won't be enough for it right now because of the fact that everybody is basically able to do something really cool. And also people's playgrounds are being leveled, meaning that everybody's going to have like pretty much the equal amount of voice, you know. So the only way to actually get more recognition is by working with people, more people in groups. And it's going to disconnect us. It's going to shake us up. I'm going to tell you guys right now that there's a game that just came out, I think like in November of last year. It's called Stranding by Hideo Kojima. And Hideo Kojima, he is a game designer, game developer who worked for Konami for a while, but made this game independently from Konami. And the game talks about this character called Sam Porter, who actually is played by Norman Reedus from Walking Dead, who basically is like a glorified mailman who just travels around making deliveries for people who have been disconnected from the United Cities of America. And it's a really great game to really think about. I'm actually trying to play through it, but I take the time to like watch somebody else play on YouTube because I don't know, it's just much more entertaining for me as I'm learning. But I want to go back and actually play it as well. But what I'm basically saying is that you want to basically take advantage of the fact that this game talks about what we actually might be seeing in the future, where we're going to see a lot of tribes, a lot of segregated people having their own groups. And you know, whether that's good or not, we don't really quite know. But we're going to see a lot of problems that's going to arise. There's going to be some positives, you know, looking at what you can do in your world is going to be different than what it used to be. We're not going to be able to rely on the past. I mean, you know, preferably the past, you know, traditions. You know, just getting married, having children, having a house may not be enough to survive. You know, you might have to interact with different people. These jobs like TaskRabbit and Gig, Instacart and DoorDash, or just a small introduction to what we might have to have. You might have to go ahead and have somebody around, you know, work with you to get things delivered, because of the fact that that's just how things are going to be, delivering things, you know. And I'm paying a lot of attention to these things because I know that it's not on the front cover of your newspaper, or it's not coming up on your news feed, or, you know, but we are moving into a more social environment because of the fact that the internet is allowing us to do more with less. You know, you don't need to have a huge amount of startup capital to go buy, you know, building, lease out of space, buy inventory. You can literally create your inventory out of thin air from what you say, and then you can create, you know, books or feeds or videos to kind of generate what you're basically talking about. Now, people are like, I don't have anything. My stuff doesn't cost that much. It will, if the ideas that you say are being looked out for. You know, a lot of games and movies and stuff like that are not being given. Like, we're not getting the same type of reviews, and we're not getting that information now. We're being left to get the information ourselves. And I'm gonna leave it like that. You know, it's like 10 minutes. Thanks for listening. I really appreciate it. If you like, you can probably subscribe, listen to this information. If not, it's okay. But I just really like being able to get this out because I know it's so important to kind of at least say my piece, because I feel like it's not really being talked about. And I think that I've just noticed over the last few years that, you know, I don't really need to have as much as I thought I need. And that's mainly because of how things have been, how things have changed over the last few years. And I don't know how else to really go about it except for talking about it like this every day, you know. So stay tuned, you'll hear if I come up with anything new, if I find out something that's not the way I said it is, I will let you guys know. Take care.